Hey guys, welcome back to yet another Plasticon build type thingy. Today we're going to do the Battle Tanker add-on kit for your, I don't know, I tend to call this a Classics Prime because it kind of is. It's your rub sign prime, whatever you want to call it. Reveal the shield. This is actually not a bad toy. There's a lot of folks out there who tend to rag on this guy. Say, oh, he's too small, or head sculpt's not right. I mean, look at the head sculpt. It's very movie-ish, considering this did come out toward, the movie time. So, acquired this add-on kit through a friend of mine. He actually hooked me up with it, and he also hooked me up with a Prime. So, I've never done this before. This is the very first time I've ever had this add-on kit in hand. Although I do have to say this Prime is not too bad. There's a lot of people who tend to rag on this Prime a lot, and I don't think it's that bad. It's actually a pretty cool toy. I do like its alt mode. I like the colors. Although this is the one that most people don't like because it's got the orange windows and then it's got the blue and the black. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Generation 2. G2 had the craziness, and this kind of works for me. Although there's some people out there that really dislike that. But no big deal. Obviously has the orange translucent sword, which is kind of cool. I do like the idea that this sword does something other than a sword where it actually becomes a trailer hitch, which is nice for alternate mode. But that's what it is. Anyway, we're going to crack into this add-on kit. I'm going to move this guy aside. I do have a trusty screwdriver because I do know that I have to unscrew some bits in order to actually put some of the add-on kit on him. When you get this kit, this is the KO kit. This is not the official Make toy one, but it's actually not bad. When it did get transported, I mean the box did get kind of crumbled up, but it looks really good. Open it up and it's got nice window layout, and on the back it's got the nice color art with showing what parts come with it, what it looks like in alt mode, what it looks like powered up with and without the sword. So for any of you guys out there that has this, you could be like, oh my god, you're doing it all wrong, blah 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 blah. Yeah, well, whatever, I don't care. I'm here to have fun. So I've never opened this thing, and I'm going to figure out how to open it without ripping up the box, because I had to open this box. It's not too hard to open. There we go. Let's pop the tape. And now we're going to slowly take this thing out. And it comes with tons of stuff. The instructions are... Oh. Sword fell out. Okay, there we go. Put this box to the side. So it's the backing that comes to it. It's actually really cool. I do like that art a lot. That would be a really nice thing to be able to like hang up and that kind of stuff. Instructions are taped to the back, obviously, because you got two eyes. You can see this, I hope. Unless you're watching this with one eye. But, move this up the way. Yeah, let's see what these instructions are like. Still understand why that fell out. Looks like it was just a spare one that was thrown in here. Actually, I think I did get two in here. Oh, well. This is what it is. Can you guys read that? I can't read that. Can you read that? Can you read this? Sure you can. But, basically this is just a disclaimer. It says to reduce the interference of the shoulder and the arm articulation, you can cut off the inner tab on the right shoulder, which the tab that he's referring to is this one right here. I myself, I'm not going to really do that. I don't want to ruin the toy. I do like the transformation, and to be honest, I mean, I don't think it really does much for holding the whole thing together, but I haven't really gotten that far yet, so we will see. I do have snips somewhere, so you know how that goes. That's crazy customization. They're cannibalistic almost. So it's pretty much this thing's just saying, oh, well, if you want to do this, scale per, whatever. It's not that important. The most important part is getting into this. This layout of this instructions is doesn't look too bad. Kind of just shows you how everything transforms. But I think it's funny that they're actually using the same one I got in hand here. It's not the Takara release or whatever it is. Anyway, we're going to do the head swap gimmick, which is pretty much getting hold of the head that's out of here. So let's see how this goes. I might end up having parts fly over here, so put on your pants. Oh, I got tape down here. Look at that. So I just got getting back from the Texas Comic-Con. Wasn't too bad. I expected a little bit more out of the con than what I saw, but it wasn't too bad. There was some pretty good selection there, but nothing like completely flooring me because I've got quite a bit of stuff and I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. A lot of you guys have been following me out there. You guys know I've been selling a lot of my Generation 1, which I happen to only have really Micromasters left. Actually, I think that is all I have left for sale. But this tape is really being a pain in the butt. I tend to like these kind of cases because these kind of cases are nice, especially when you get them messing around with a toy or something like that and you want to put them up, or if you need to travel to a different area or something like that. That's usually the best way of handling that. But this tape is kicking me in the rear. Anyway, most of you Transformer nuts out there know that the Texas Comic-Con, Optimus and Megatron were both there, but sadly I didn't have the money for that ticket because that ticket was expensive. I was actually lucky I got to go because I live in Texas, so it wasn't too difficult getting there. Alright, so I'm going to take all these bits out of here so I don't have to deal with this tray. Lots of pieces here. Tons of pieces. Like billions of pieces. Parts for me. Worst toy ever. Whatever. You guys out there complain about that. Get over it. Seriously. Especially you guys out there say, worst toy ever, and then you own something like Hercules. I mean, seriously. There's parts wanting involved there. But I digress. Anyway. This seems to be pretty interesting. These parts feel pretty good in hand. They're not actually too bad. Although I do have a ball jointed piece here that popped off, it looks like. But that's going to happen. Especially it's a ball joint. Ball joints fall off. You know how it goes. Alright. Grab these guns. Trailer! Arr! It's so heavy. Push that out of the side. Part popped off. Whatever. We'll figure it out. That's the whole point. This point of this whole thing is it's like a kit. That's kind of what I like about this set versus those other sets where it's like, oh, look, you just do this and that's done. I like a little bit of build when it comes to this stuff. Alright. That's the tray out of the way. Okay. Let's see here. Now, I know this popped out of this little thing. Put that back in there. If I don't push it so hard, it probably wouldn't have popped back out. Yeah. This thing here had something fall off. Oh, okay. I sort of fell off. thing here just popped off. Good deal. I would rather a part pop off than break. That's kind of how I feel about it. You know, it's that thing over there. Let's go into the head swap gimmick. Now, the head swap gimmick, apparently, this looks like you have to actually separate the... Now, if you're looking at this, that's where the ball joint's supposed to go. There is no screw on the back of the head. So I'm assuming I just need to go in there and just wedge that and pop that out. So that's what it's looking like. So let's see here. Okay, my handy dandy screwdriver, wherever it went. Prime, what did you do with my screwdriver? Seriously, dude. Give it back. Ah, there it is. Ow. Very sharp, by the way. Very sharp. Viewer discretion is advised. You know, I might start bleeding in a minute. Happens. Anyway. So in here, it should just close and pop right out, but I don't know. Doesn't seem to want to. Let's take the head off first. Basically, what's going to happen is there's a screw on the back of Prime's head. Right there. See the screw? Right there in the back of his head. Yeah, I got to unscrew that. So I really recommend like a very fine tip screwdriver when you do this. And take your time. Don't try rushing it. It's like I said, I've never done this before, so it's a whole new thing. Why's this thing wiggling? It's waggling on me. Waggle, waggle, waggle. Head waggle mode. Engaged. It's a very difficult screw to get out, but I think I got it. I might have it. Maybe. Well, the screw didn't come out all the way, but I might be able to separate the head enough to get it off. Move these shoulders out of the way here. I'll take this and kind of wedge it in here and see if I can pop it loose. Very difficult to do sometimes. There we go. Head's off. It came off. Yeah, head on. Yeah, head off. Oh, it looks like this other one might just pop right back on. Yeah, that's not happening for some reason. Got it. After I like retract my thumb back in. All right, so it just popped right on. So it's actually not bad. And I'll show you guys what the head sculpt looks like with the new one. Looks pretty good. I do like it much better than the other head sculpt. Now, there are some people complaining because they say it's up too high. But to be honest, if you look at this in here, the only difference really was the mouth plate came more to a point. So it kind of hid the chin. But to be honest, it looks pretty good still. Okay. Head waggle mode is done. You stand there. Now, for the waist. And the waist portion is this new piece. This new piece is supposed to replace the old one because you need to have ability to take this new waist piece here and clip it over it whenever it's actually not in its normal mode. So it's looking like the best thing to do, transform this up and twist this around, and then you can kind of push this back down. That gives you a bit of a, kind of restricts the rotation of it. Then what you're going to do, handy dandy screwdriver again, and then just unscrew the waist, which legs and stuff are going to fall everywhere because that's what happens. So I'm unscrewing the waist. This looks very inappropriate, but you know. I'm going to gently take the screw out. Can't lose the screw. You have to have the screw because it's got to go back in that thing. Ah. Come on. There it goes. That fell out. Now, there are two parts to this waist. So I just took my fingernail and popped out the back part. And then you're going to take this front portion here. Sure you lift this up all the way so that way you can get to it. And then just kind of push it out with your fingers. Just like so. See, now he's missing his diaper. Anyway. You take the new piece and then you're going to just slot it back in. Trust me, I've never done this before, and it's pretty simple. So this isn't bad. This is actually kind of fun. Pretty cool kit so far. Plastic quality is really great, by the way. And then you'll take this portion here and put this diaper back together, basically. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Now we'll take the screw, put the screw back in. I dropped it again. I'm a professional. Just kidding. Anyway, let's see here. Take the screw and put this back in here. And screwing this thing back together. Yeah, Prime gets screwed. Anyway. Let's see here. Trying to make sure I get it tight, but not over tight. Because that's one problem whenever it comes to doing anything customizing. Don't ever torque it down to the point that it feels like it's stripping plastic. When it gets down to the point that it's snug and does not want to move, that's when you want to stop. Especially on something like this, considering this is a rotation joint you want to rotate. Okay, so there's Prime with the new head and the new waist installed. This doesn't look too bad. I kind of dig it. It's pretty neat. Like I said, the bottom jaw portion, the reason why the neck looks like it's up higher is because the old head has like a pointy mouth plate, and quite frankly, this is too movie Prime for me. I like this better. Okay, so let's see here. What do we do next? Oh yeah, we take these two pieces here that we don't need and put them aside, so that way we don't get them mixed up with anything else that's on this table. Now there's a specialized way that these feet go on, which has got two of these. And it doesn't look like there's any really special direction anything really goes. Other than, okay, take that back. It's a long side and a short side. So you're primarily going to mistransform his legs. Or if you've got him in truck mode and you're going to this mode, primarily you're just going to leave it like that. And then this should, in turn, fold over. Because you got a slot here for the wheel. It just literally slots right over. And then you'll take this portion here and it will actually click into the heel of the old foot. Oh, yeah, that's one thing I forgot to probably do. Okay. Yeah, transform this just a little bit so that way you can actually fit it into the new leg. It's kind of tight. I don't understand why. There must be something I'm doing wrong. I better look at the instructions. I really don't like looking at instructions. I like figuring things out, honestly. There are quite a few people out there that don't do that, but yeah. Anyway, I better look at the instructions because I know it fits like that somehow. It's probably my fault because, you know, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Yeah, according to the instructions, I do exactly what I just said, and it wasn't doing that. I don't know what's going on here. That's exactly what I did, and it, yeah, it's supposed to say a click. Yeah, click, right. Nothing clicked. So I do leave that heel up. That's what I thought I did. I briefly looked at the instructions before I started. Why? Because, you know, I mean, that's what you gotta do sometimes. You gotta have fun with your toys. My whole thing with Transformers is like, you know, if you can figure it out on your own, then you're going to remember how to do it. If you don't quite try figuring it out on your own, then you're going to be like 45 minutes trying to figure out, oh, how the heck did that go? Oh, you guys out there with the leader movie primes. I've heard some people have like nightmare stories about how I'm trying to transform that thing, but then I've heard people say, oh, well, it's easy, and then they do it in like 10 minutes, and I'm like, wow. So, and the problem is I got this heel portion here. It's sticking out on the side on this one. For some reason, it doesn't want to clear that. I don't know why. That's weird. I don't believe it's the other foot. I'm pretty sure it's not the other foot. Let me attempt to do the other foot real quick and then figure out whether I'm doing it wrong. And most of you guys out there already have it set. You're like, oh, this idiot doesn't know what he's doing, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, I don't buy very many third-party add-ons, so, you know, this is my first one. So, like, first major crazy one, because most of the ones I buy are, like, for Generation 1 or Generation 2s. Okay. And it should click into the foot, which it doesn't quite want to. Ah, there we go. Ah. Okay, there we go. Hey, apparently I was doing it right. It just doesn't want to do this side because it's got this thing here that doesn't want to clear, which is kind of weird. Is that X-Acto knife time? Possibly, and I don't have an X-Acto knife currently in my possession at the moment. So might be able to kind of force that in there. Or not. Is this supposed to actually click all the way down in? Oh, there we go. Okay, I've got it partially in there. There we go. Hey, I got it. Hey, he's got boots. Boots. Big boots. Actually, not too bad. I do like these. These are actually kind of cool. They really do add some more height to them. Look pretty nice. All right. So let's go ahead and put on his crotch piece, wherever that went. Now this has got two little pegs here, and they go right into these two little holes. The crotches are also articulated, which is kind of nice. So you're able to pose it as well. There you go. Clipped in all nice. Plastic quality is very good on this. Do like it a lot. All right. As for Prime's arm guards here, you're supposed to click these on with a 30mm port over this gas tank portion here on his arm, which is right there. And then you're supposed to take this 3mm port and click it on. And then this is supposed to actually go over, which I might have them backward. I don't think I do. I didn't think I did, but maybe I do. Yes, isn't quite. Oh, it's supposed to fold over the entire thing. Well, I thought it did, but it popped out the ball joint. That'd be a ball joint. Ball joints, ball joints, ball joints, joints and balls. Anyway. I had a feeling this thing's backward or something. Let's refer to the instructions again. Okay, so this is supposed to be the back of his arm. And it's the front of his arm. So I see what's happening here. This needs to be flipped around this way. So this does click into the back of this fuel tank. Kind of recommending that you straighten his arm all the way when you do this. And the ball joint yourself, you can just kind of move it all the way out like so, and then click it on, and that'll probably be best. Just like that. And then you'll take this and then fold it over the arm. And it's supposed to kind of groove into the back of the panel there. Which this just popped loose again. Not cool, man. Not cool. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway. There we go. Let me try putting the hand on. Now the hand, you basically take the hand and you put it over the old hand. And then it just makes it bigger, which is kind of weird. So I'm wondering if I got these things backward now. there's a possibility there. Ah, that is what I've been doing. I do have these backward. No wonder why it's been so difficult. Ah. So, for reference, this flat side goes over the wrist. And then this clicks on. See, it would have been nice if they would have labeled these left and right. I mean, they're not, there's no L and R on these. I mean, it would have been easy for them to tampo L and R on the inside. That would have really helped. Okay. There we go. Now this should fold over his hand okay. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. It doesn't look so bad. And it still gives him movement in his arms. Although it gives him big, gigantic Popeye forearms, but it kind of fills out the rest because, you know, those original ones were just awfully skinny. I mean, anyway. I figure stuff out. Why? Because I'm a professional. This is what professionals do, right? Come on, you guys never build anything without instructions. Don't lie to me. Anyway. You can leave this folded out like so, and then you put the other fist inside his hand, and then you fold this over. Like a so. Like something like that. There we go. And there we go. There we go. We got Prime with gigantic Popeye arms. Popeye, the sailor man. Yeah. He's got this. This waist is really weird because it likes to move around a lot, apparently. His hip skirts like to get out of the way quite a bit. Yeah, there he is. Actually, it looks pretty good. I actually do like it. It's kind of neat. Very interesting. Okay. Now, we're going to get the screwdriver out of the way because we don't need that anymore. And let's see. We got this ginormous thing here. And this is supposed to plug into the sword. The sword hilt is supposed to be part of this. Disconnect all that. This is supposed to plug onto the back somewhere. Let's see here. Where's that plug on? Okay, so this whole backpack assembly is supposed to plug in back here, but how does... Okay. There's these two posts that are sticking out, and then there's these two slots. So you just take these two slots and you pretty much send this thing over it, but part of the problem is you got this wire that's sticking out downward, which I don't much like the idea that I'm cranking that wire like that. Okay, this thing here actually moves around. And then the switch is right here. It's not like a proton pack, honestly. It's kind of how I see it. It seems like if you don't want to crank it, you gotta move this whole thing down. Install it. Which doesn't really... It should click in, but it's not clicking in. This thing here up. All right, well, that backpack does not hold at all. It should just click in, but it doesn't want to click in. Oh, there we go. So it just kind of holds back there. Now there's a teeny tiny switch, and a teeny tiny switch is behind this thing here, which this just kind of hangs on. This thing here does have ability to move around and move out of the way. The problem is the clip is so small that it'll come right off, put it that way. So you're going to want to kind of move it to the side. It just pops right off again. This is going to be frustrating here. Just don't see how that is even supposed to work. Okay, I mean, it holds, but barely. I'm afraid if I even put the sword on there, it's going to pop right off. Anyway, you're going to take the sword wire and move it around to the back, and then kind of stick it in its hand. Kind of reminds me of the laser rods, considering this is G2 Prime. But the whole idea is you got to coordinate and make that wire move all the way around. And then you'll take the sword and stick it over that. And then if you turn on the light, there it goes. You can see it just slipped up that part. And I just dropped a piece off the back, but it does look really cool. I do like the sword a lot. The sword's pretty neat. Although the hilt thing is kind of meh. I mean, seriously, it didn't really... I mean, I understand what they're going for here because this is supposed to be G2 Laser Prime. But, well, you know, that's how that works, I guess. As for these pod things actually plug onto the sides here. Got this gigantic square you push them onto. This is kind of cool. Gives you a little bit more armament. Just like that. And then you can put a gigantic gun in his hand if you want. Because he comes with 2 of those. Would have been awesome if there was like a way for you to be able to clip these onto his forearm or something. I would have preferred that. Because these almost look like God Generous guns. I mean, they're humongous. But if you don't like this sword, which I don't know anybody wouldn't, take the whole hilt off and then put this other one on. Something's awfully loose. Try the other one. Yeah, there we go. So it's got 2 of these, and one's supposed to be for drift, the other one's for prime. And then you can put a nice skinny Excalibur kind of samurai sword. You know how it goes. He keeps having a habit of wanting to fall backward. But there you go. There he is in his armored up mode, which is pretty cool. I do like this. Now, as for this thing, that requires us to remove the gun and the sword. And I'm going to remove the sword entirely because this is not really even a required thing for this mode at all. It doesn't even do anything in this mode. So it's kind of pointless. So you just throw it to the side. Now this, I know you're supposed to somehow... All right, there's an arrow right smack dab in the middle of all that mess. And the arrow is right there. So pretty much have to orient this thing in such a way that it allows these two gigantic rocket launcher portions so I just knocked Prime over. Okay. It's got a clicky joint, which is nice. And then you'll move these little things here out, which are the little handles for him to hang on to. Okay. And he's got to kind of orient this whole thing so that way it just fits onto his back. Now, this does have like a stand portion here on the back. The only thing that I'm noticing on this KO is this is awful loose. This should just lock into position, but it's not really locking. But I digress because, you know, it is the KO. At any rate, you should be able to grab these. And this should somehow rest on his back, but I don't see how that even happens. You're doing it wrong. I get that a lot, by the way. No big deal. I gotta look at the instructions because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty correct on that. Okay, you're supposed to handle it from upside down, so I've got this whole thing here turned the wrong way, so I just gotta turn it the other way. And for some reason, this one here, it only wants to turn one way, so I'm not going to force it the other way because I don't feel like breaking it. Okay. Do they slide up or anything? No. Ah. Something I'm noticing, I don't know if he's supposed to be opposite like that, but maybe they do because it's got to have ability to fold inside. So, yeah, no big deal. It's supposed to hang off of him, but it's not wanting to. And I'm noticing that this whole trailer mode Like, I thought these wheels supposed to fold in or something here to allow this to click on. Well, maybe. Hmm. I'm a pain in the butt. I know these supposed to flip around. Goes around. Here we go. Let's see here. I was like, oh, you're doing it wrong, I'm pretty sure. And it's pretty funny, probably. They're probably laughing. You know what? I really don't care. Wow, that just snapped. I barely moved it and it broke. Well, what do you expect? That, I guess, concludes this entire thing. I mean, I do have a trailer truck. To be honest, this thing's kind of a pain in the ass. Um, I mean, the whole time you probably watched me, I was having problems trying to put this on the whole back of it, and it would not articulate right at all. That sucks. That really sucks. This seems like being held on by like nothing. Now that I'm looking at it, I mean, seriously, that right there was what was holding it. I mean, what the hell? You guys want to know why I don't really do third party often? That's pretty bad. Well, that sucks. Because all I was trying to do was orient it so that way I can make it fit, but I guess that's not going to happen now. How the hell is this even going to truck mode? I have no idea. It just looks like it folds up like this or something. I don't know. I can't believe that broke. That's pretty pathetic. That's sad. I mean, it's supposed to like move. I mean, look at this. It moves, but the other one shouldn't have just snapped off like that. That's crazy. I didn't even put any pressure on it, and it just went. Well, that sucks. Oh, it looks like this has to do something. That sucks. The battle tanker broke. Man. Ah. I mean, I'm not saying that third party breaks and sucks and stuff like that, but I mean, I don't really buy third party that often, and when I do try to transform it, I'm very delicate, and I can't believe that just snapped like it did. It literally snapped like a twig. But there was no force behind that whatsoever, and it just like tink. Okay, I see how that works. Well, that sucks for that. But well, to be honest, I was more than likely not going to use the tanker mode that often. I was really just going to use the tanker for truck mode, and then maybe the base mode. But now I can't even do the base mode because that part broke, and I can't believe that just snapped like it did. I was just, oh, I see. That sucked. I'm going to attempt to move this. It's probably going to completely fall apart. If it does, I'm probably just going to break it out the super glue and glue the whole damn thing together because this is ridiculous. It shouldn't have broke like that at all. And this joint is so freaking tight here. It doesn't even want to rotate. I know this is the bottom of the trailer. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I did have it oriented the right way. That's weird. Yeah, I see what I'm doing. I'm not like ham handling this thing either, and it just I can't believe it did that. I mean, if you guys would have went out and bought like a third party figure, spent all this money on it, and then all of a sudden it just broke on you when you're just trying to transform it for the very first time, you would probably be very upset too. And I'm not very happy about it. Although I don't tend to whinge about a lot of stuff like some people. But that's a bit sad. And honestly, the instructions are very vague on this. I really don't like the instructions on this thing at all. Um, it's not very well played out, honestly. Which I don't even know if you guys have the same issue I was having, but yeah, it's. I mean, if you look, where was it? I just lost my place. Yeah, right here. That's all I'm trying to do right now to put it back in truck mode, and this is just not wanting to line up at all. So weird. It just doesn't look right at all. I mean, it's supposed to be that far out. It just doesn't look right. I mean, this part here is broken, so I might as well just transform it the way it should be. Which I'm sure there's some tabs and stuff that holds it together in truck mode, but you know. It slides forward on these. I just can't believe this. I mean, I literally just got this thing today, and this is what happens. I mean, oh well. Proves to you that not everything you buy is going to be the best you can get. And like I said, a buddy of mine hooked me up with this. It wasn't that expensive. And, you know, I'm not mad at him. It's not his fault. He didn't make it. He's not the one that manufactured this thing. And to be honest, it shouldn't be that difficult to figure this thing out. And they've really. I mean, at least I can put the guy in his robot mode. Yeah, the trailer might not be part of it, but I mean, to be honest, I kind of like the powered up thing with the sword better anyway. But that's just me. I do like the idea of the rockets and everything add on, but that's just pretty bad that it did that. I mean, it took nothing for that to snap, like literally nothing. Okay, so this goes down like. Okay. This should click into place here, you would think. Okay, the front of the foot's supposed to fall down, which it obviously can't because it's got this big thing in the way. If flip it around. There we go. Figured it out. And then this flips up. Oh well. I just can't believe I had this all like not even 10 minutes out of the box and already broke the damn thing. I mean, oh. Please click over. It's supposed to click into place. I'm assuming with these tabs, but oh, that makes sense. And then this here. It's kind of cool that they were able to integrate everything into the trailer, but I just can't believe this silly thing broke on me, man. It's just weird. I'm probably going to end up breaking this too. This is ridiculous. This is like stupid tight. I don't understand why it's so damn tight. It shouldn't. This should like slide in or something. It shouldn't just. Oh. It's supposed to slide through this groove, but it's not wanting to. And then it slid itself completely out. I mean, complicated transformation for really no reason whatsoever here. Seriously. It should be easy. It should go in like butter instead of stretching plastic over something that shouldn't have to be stretched. Because I don't know why. I mean, I get what they're trying to go for here, but well, there's that as it's trying to separate itself. And I don't see any possible way for that to lock itself in or anything here. I mean, I guess this tab's supposed to lock in over it, but how does this go? This doesn't even... Well, is this supposed to do that? So if that's the case, then yeah, okay, but that's still not. All right. Hey, we might actually have a tab locked in, but it still looks like a train wreck back here. I mean, that's not cool. Something's wrong here. Okay, I see what's supposed to go on here. See, this thing even broke, and I can guarantee you, if I was trying to put this thing into trailer mode, it would have probably broke too. Because you're putting such hard tolerance on this to try to make it fit. Literally nothing's holding this thing together but friction. I mean, seriously, this thing's being held together by that tab right there. Is literally holding this thing on here with the pressure off of this. And as thin as that was, I can guarantee that this is probably going to end up breaking too here soon. Just because of that. I'm not ham-fisting anything here. It's just falls apart. I get this whole thing here tabs together like this. That's cool. But I mean, look at the gap under that trailer. I don't get why it's... Nothing's tabbing back there at all. Now I know this whole thing here probably is supposed to fit over it. Okay, maybe. I guess it's supposed to have a big gap in the back like that. Yeah, it does. We got these two parts here. You can put these guys together. Seriously, that just fell out like nothing. Like, where's the glue, guys? All right. And I get all those parts supposed to fit on the inside of this thing, but I mean, I'm forcing something against itself here, and it's just not even wanting to go back together. There we go. And then this whole thing here is trying to push itself back out. All right. Well, that's what the trailer looks like put together. I don't see any more parts that's supposed to go on. I know you can like attach the backpack and everything to the back of this, which is cool, but I don't know. I'm just not very happy about this thing. This thing is just kind of a pain in the butt, really. It's like you take the fists and you put them over these little tabs. That's also the waist piece tabs, which are already thin. And you'll put the fists over. Yeah, that's not tabbed in at all, and nothing to tab into. These also move really too easy, to be honest. There should be more of a click in there. I mean, this is a KO version, and it broke already. Not even 5 minutes out of the box. So I guess if you're planning on getting this, maybe get the real one, but I'm not even impressed with the KO, to be honest. It's kind of a pain in the butt. And I don't like to rag on toys. I really don't. I hate doing that. But I mean, this just isn't cool, man. If you got... I mean, I get what they're trying to do here, where they're trying to give you, like, the option of having, like, these awesome guns come out of the side of the trailer and everything. And that's cool and all, but it shouldn't be so difficult to even get these to fit. I mean, and now it doesn't even want to do that because of the barrel of the guns. I'm afraid to even do anything because it's probably going to break on me. Even worse than that one part did. That's not cool at all. I pushed in the gun. The gun went in fairly fine, but now I can't even get it out, so I can spin this back around. It's very frustrating. I mean, I do want to like this thing because the trailer is great. The add-on armor kit's great. But the simple fact that this thing's broke just in the middle of like barely any pressure, it just kind of tells me that, you know, a lot of these guys out here that are making these things, like if you're making a KO, that's fine. But, you know, test the quality of your product before you put it out there, at least. I mean, because I'm doing this. I'm literally pulling the whole thing apart. This is not cool, honestly. And there's no glue in that back, by the way, because it's on a joint. The entire joint just completely snapped on it. I mean, I'm looking at this like, okay, where do the fists and stuff supposed to go? Oh, they go. Oh, so these supposed to go on here, and then the fist things click onto the guns. Okay, well, I get that. I understand that. That's okay. So these supposed to go over these little grooves. Like you got these little teeth here sticking out, and they're supposed to go over the ridge on the guns, just to hold it. Still, it's stretching the plastic, which I'm not happy about that at all. That's kind of scary that it does that. And then you're supposed to move this little piece down. I mean, I've just kind of wedged it over and hadn't wedged it too far. And then this is supposed to plug it into one of these holes here on the side. That's probably the wrong one. It probably has to be the other one. And this keeps coming apart. That's another thing that's really irritating me about this thing. It doesn't hold together at all. And it really ticks me off that broke. So, I mean, there was like no pressure behind it, and the entire joint just snapped right off. Like, let's see here. I just don't like how these are just, it's literally stretching the plastic over this thing, and it doesn't really wedge in. And the other thing it's doing right now that I just noticed is it's bending the barrels of the gun. It's actually compressed them together. So, and since I have this thing out, I can do this. Trying to fit this thing in here. Okay, there we go. I guess that's how that's supposed to go. Do the same thing here. And all this stuff's supposed to store on the inside. That's cool. You know, I love the ideas, but the execution is just not cool, man. And especially when I'm looking at this thing and it's literally like stretching plastic different directions, and this should have more tolerance in between here, and there's not. And shouldn't this thing go past that tooth? There's no way of doing that. And I was having a blast with this thing until it broke like it did. I mean, it's irritating that they would design something and not make it so it doesn't break. I'm basically having to like hold this thing and hope to God it doesn't like fly to pieces while I'm trying to push this portion here back over. And then this is supposed to fold back down, but it doesn't want to now. Okay, there we go. Tab together, tab together. This keeps coming untabbed. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to put this back on here again. And then put this back on. And there's the trailer. Oh, what cracks me up is this blade's supposed to slide onto the inside of this thing, and this thing's already got enough crap crammed in it. And you want to put a translucent blade in there and hope to God it doesn't break? I mean, it is kind of rubberized, but it's not like rubber. It's a pretty rigid kind of rubberized. The other thing I'm seeing is I don't see a place where you put the hilt. Actually, I think it goes under this. Yeah, it does. It goes under there, I think. Which requires me to pull this whole thing apart again. You learn as you go, you know. It happens. But it should, in theory, clip under here somehow. Okay, I see what it does. It actually does clip under there. Cool. I'm going to attempt to put the sword in here, but that's probably not going to happen considering this whole damn thing broke. In theory, this is supposed to go in here and slide into this. Just like that. Okay, well that worked. But my question is how is this going to fit back in here again? Over that, when it doesn't want to at all. I think I see what. I think it's supposed to go the other direction, but I doubt that's even going to make any difference considering this plastic wants to just stretch over these guns and compress the barrels. So far, I'm pretty upset because this thing broke. That's all. It's kind of irritating me now. Let's see here. This thing back the other direction. So if that's the case, I gotta switch guns. Because this cavity here is supposed to go in here. You guys want to know why I don't review Masterpiece or anything. This might be why, because I don't really transform those that much. Why? Because I don't have ham hands, but I've been so used to transforming stuff that's very simple. But then the second I get something that looks like the plastic tolerance is about to just explode, I don't even want to touch it. Now, if any of you guys have the original battle tanker, the real one of this, and you guys have any issues with it like this, let me know. Because, you know, this might be the KO, but to be honest, it's the plastic quality isn't bad. That's what kills me about that silly thing breaking like it did. And there's no way I'm going to be able to fix that joint, because that joint was just, I mean, held on by nothing. And if you guys want to see that, I'll remind you, I mean, right there where you see that little bit of white, that's all that was holding this entire thing on. And right there, that's where it broke. That's like a compression ratchet joint, which I don't even see how that even works without any kind of pressure breaking it in the first place. All right, this is okay. That all compressed okay. I'm going to put this thing here down. Maybe if I can get this here to compress down just fine. Which it doesn't even want to. It's like pushing itself apart the whole time. There it goes. Finally. All right. But these supposed to pull out all the way, and I got them misaligned because they popped loose. There we go. This just keeps wanting to pop loose. It just doesn't want to stay at all. I mean, there should be like a tab or something that plugs these two together to keep them from trying to push each other apart, but they consistently keep doing that. Even though it's in the groove like it should be, it's just kind of popped out a little bit out of the groove, but still it shouldn't be pushing itself out like that at all. It should fit snug, and it doesn't at all. I mean, it doesn't even roll. I mean, it's supposed to roll, the wheels roll. But it's like I have to compress this thing or something. And now these feet are trying to push the trailer completely apart. Oh. Let's see here. Let's put this whole backpack thing here back together and put that on the back of the trailer because it's supposed to fit on the back of the trailer. Well, it's like I said, I mean, this whole part here is pretty cool. I like it. I like the idea that I got a light up sword gimmick. That's that's one of the things I reiterate that a lot when I'm talking about like gimmicks and stuff like that on Transformers. But I mean, it's ridiculous when you get a third party item that just doesn't even function the way it should. Might be a KO, but still the tolerances are should be anywhere close to what it should be, and you know, this is supposed to peg onto the back of the whole trailer. All right. So now it's Jesus. I had to shove that thing on there just to get it to fit. Okay, there we go. Now you got this weird thing sticking up off the back of the trailer. I mean, I guess this right here does move, so if you're careful, I guess you can move this around and make it work. Put this lower or something. Like that. As for these, I have no idea. These are not even on the instructions of where to put them. All right. Let's see if I can remember how to transform prime here. Hope I don't break this like I broke that. It really irritate me then. But anyway. I'm just a little irritated about that whole breakage thing. I mean, that was just ridiculous that it even broke. It shouldn't even break. I mean, I've handled joints before that are, you know, stupid amount of tightness involved and stuff like that, you know, and I get that and I understand that. But when it comes to the simple fact that you've got a joint that just doesn't want to move, and then whenever you barely move it, the whole thing snaps. I mean, that's just bad quality. Just bad quality. Sorry. You know, a lot of you guys out there want to complain about the Combiner Wars stuff. Well, I'm sorry. Combiner Wars doesn't explode in your hand. Not like that. To be honest, I really haven't had any issues with Combiner Wars. There's a lot of people that do. And I think it's just because they've handled so many third-party things. That they're like, oh, this feels like a little kid's toy. Well, sorry, but the thing shouldn't break like that. I'm trying to fit this head. This is a brand new head. Oh, okay. Well, maybe. That didn't work out very well. I got to turn the head around. Oh, duh. That's why. Hey, Plasticon, how about you open up the windows first before you do that? God. Such a noob sometimes. Let's see here. And I really want to see what this thing looks like with the truck and trailer together, because I'm a big fan of G2 Prime. I love G2 Prime. Especially Laser Prime. Laser Prime's one of my favorite. I've got Laser Prime, the original one, and he's so cool. I love that thing. But after handling that thing and this thing breaking like this, it kind of upsets me. I mean, I would just love like a third party just to straight up come up with that, or Hasbro give us a freaking Prime that's, you know, G2, like straight up G2 Prime. Well, these things here are a bit irritating. And one thing I have to say about this one, I've already got stress marks there and there, and I barely have ever transformed this thing. So just keep that in mind. If you do get one of these, you're going to get stress marks on it probably pretty easily. because for some reason I'll move these wheels. I can understand why they get stress marks, because those things get moved around so much on this mold. Believe me, he looks really cool in truck mode, and he looks really good in robot mode. It's just some of the plastic kibble, seriously, is just kind of a pain in the butt, and it can cause an issue. I just can't believe that I had my battle tanker break like that. That's just ridiculous. Then again, it doesn't surprise me. I've had a day where nothing wants to work right. Got up this morning and was like, oh, buddy of mine gave me a video card and some RAM for my computer, and yeah, none of that fit. So then I'm in the middle of putting it back together, because I just had the side of the case off, really, and that's about all. Then my computer didn't want to boot. I took everything out of it, and still it did not want to boot. So I'm like, okay, I got work to go do. So I went and did some work. And I come back this afternoon and turn it on, and everything booted up just fine. I'm like, what is wrong with this thing? This is a really finicky part here, is trying to line this sword up and put this thing back together. It's a bit finicky. I'm afraid it's going to like snap the sword one day. There we go. Truck mode. Done. Yay, truck mode. And this will actually peg in over it and drag it along, because the wheels don't even roll. I mean, I have to admit, it does look kind of cool, completely put together like this. And to be honest, this is probably the way I'm going to display it, considering you can, I guess you can kind of fudge the way this thing goes together without these parts here. Because you can probably just take these pieces off and the other ones, and it's still hold together as an actual trailer without all the parts on the inside. But yeah, that's primarily the battle tanker from Generation 2. Also a KO variant of it. My recommendations is, if you get this thing with the whole idea of, ham handling it, don't waste your money. But if you're going to get it and be gentle, go for it. But I mean, you guys, if you guys were watching earlier, you can tell that, I straight up, that one part just broke right off. It took nothing for that to break. And that's another thing with this trailer hitch. This trailer hitch will come loose pretty easily. That's just from me turning the truck 2 or 3 times. It will do that. So this is a good display piece, I would say. I wouldn't go too far to say that it's a real good piece to play with consistently, but to be honest, it's actually a really neat looking truck. I think it looks really good. I like it. I do like the blue. I like this because this is Generation 2. But like I said, moving on to my recommendations. If you're going to get one, cool, but be aware of that one part that breaks. I mean, I literally broke it out of the box. I mean, you guys watch me unpack it, break the tape and everything, and it broke. Not even 10 minutes of being out of the box. So I am upset about that. But the great thing is the actual waist and head are not too bad. The head was kind of tough to put on. I will not lie there. The head was very tough to put on. Now, I have heard of Art Evangelist, whenever he did his, he actually soaked the head in hot water to be able to push it on there. It makes the plastic more pliable, but if you're a bit, you know, if you can do stuff a little more robust, then yeah, go for it. But anyway, this has been Plasticon, and this has been yet another build slash review slash I'm upset I broke a third party toy that I have never had. Anyway, things have got to get better for me. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, you guys.